Audacity is an audio editing program, and we've got an audio file open. One of the cool features is that you can visualize these files in interesting ways. So if you click on these three dots and select multi-view, what you'll see is the spectrogram along with the waveform. And what we're going to do today is try to recreate the spectrogram using another tool called ffmpeg. And the way we're going to do that is by using a particular filter called showspectrumpic. Before we get to that, let's have a quick discussion on what the spectrogram actually represents. So it has three dimensions. The first dimension is time, it's measured in seconds. The other two dimensions are frequency measured in hertz and amplitude, which is measured in decibels full scale, dBFS. The idea is that any sound signal, any sound can be represented as a series of sine waves. And the frequency of the sine wave is what's plotted on the y-axis. And the amplitude is represented by the color. And you've got different color schemes that you can use to show how loud or soft something is. You can play around with this notebook. What it does is it creates a sine wave and it plots it. And it plots a few representations. So one is the actual pressure wave, what's actually happening physically to the air. The second is the waveform, so what we can represent it as. And finally, it's the spectrogram of that particular waveform. And you can see that if we change the frequency, so this is about half the frequency of the previous one, it shifts on the y-axis. And if you change the amplitude, what happens is it becomes more or less brighter, and that's decided by the scale. You might notice that the scale is negative, and the idea is that 0 is the maximum volume, and the lower you go, the less loud it is. There's a lot of theory and maths behind this, but it's not too important to fully, interpret spectrograms. Right, so let's get started. The first thing we need is ffmpeg installed. You can just follow the official website to see how to get that onto your system. But once you've done that, we said that we're going to use the showspectrumpic filter. And the nice thing is they've got an example at the bottom in the documentation. So it looks like we need to provide an input file, specify the filter, and we need to provide an output file. So let's do that. Let's open the terminal. We've got ffmpeg. We're going to specify the input file as this audio track. And then after that, we are going to specify the filter. And you'll see there's a few parameters that we can modify. We'll get to that in just a moment. But we're also going to specify the output file. And for the parameters, we're just going to specify size for now, like they've got it. So the values you can see they've listed here. So these are all your different options that you can select. And for size, you can see there's a video size section. And if we go to that, there's a bunch of different sizes available. Right now, we're going to go for the maximum option. So it's going to be really high resolution. And we're going to run that. Depending on the resolution and the machine you're running it on, it may take a while. But once that's complete, you'll see that it produces this. And you'll notice that it's not exactly the same as the one that we've got in Audacity. And the reason is because Audacity has their own implementation. They're not using ffmpeg under the hood, but it's quite similar. The characteristics are pretty much the same. What you'll notice is that there are these labels, these axes on the edges. So time, there's frequency over here, and then the color scheme we're using, starting with 0 all the way to negative 120 dBFS. So we can actually get rid of that. And if we go back to the documentation, you'll see that there's an option called legend. And we'll turn that off. You might not want that showing in your spectrogram. And another option that we're going to modify is the color. So you can actually set, there's a few preset color palettes that you can use. Let's quickly do that. So the way you chain commands is by using a colon. We're going to say legend is equal to off, and then another colon, and we set color. Now the different options that are available are listed here. We're going to choose this particular one, and we're going to give it a different file name. Once that completes, what you'll see is, one, the legend is gone, so there's no more axes on the edges, and two, the color scheme is a bit different. So it's representing the same data, but it's just different color for the amplitudes, which is quite cool. And that's it. We've got our spectrogram using ffmpeg, and yeah, what I'd really encourage you to do is listen to audio tracks with the spectrogram as a reference as well, because you learn all these different patterns and see how different instruments or voices have these qualities.